Procedure for changing parts. Step 1, turn off the power and disconnect the air and remove the power cord from the rear of the machine. Next, using a 3/16 Allen wrench, remove the 1/4 28 zinc plated screws from the guide rail block. Carefully remove the guide rail from the block, being careful not to damage the sensor behind it. Remove the magazine from the machine. Use a 3mm Allen wrench to loosen the 6 cover screws. There are 3 located on each side. Please keep in mind that the rear 2 cover screws on the right hand side are easiest loosened from the back of the machine. Carefully remove the cover from the machine, making sure you clear the block for the guide rail and set it aside. At this point, you want to pull the pin forward so that you can use your 5/16 and 7/16 inch open end box wrenches to carefully loosen the pin from the end of the cylinder shaft. Unscrew the pin the rest of the way from the cylinder shaft by hand and carefully remove it from the magazine rack support, being careful not to bend the pin. At this point, we're going to replace the pin. You can see that this one is an ATMA 0240. The pin is also stamped 0240. These are for the black parts. Carefully insert the pin through the back of the magazine rack and hand tighten it into the shaft of the cylinder. Pull the cylinder shaft forward so you can use the wrenches from the previous step to tighten the pin set carefully into place. Once the pin set is tightened, you'll want to push it all the way back so that the pin clears the back of the magazine rack and insert the new magazine. Close the jaws on the gripper. Since they're not under pressure, they should be easy to close. This allows the cover to be reinstalled. Using your 3mm Allen wrench, retighten all 6 of the cover screws. Using your 5/32 Allen wrench, carefully loosen the 1032 zinc plated screws from the top of the guide rails. Now please note that any of the screws that you're going to be loosening or removing will be zinc plated. Do not loosen or alter the stainless steel head screws, as these are factory settings. To change out the guide rails, you'll have to remove the right hand side of the guide rail first. After removing the screws, pull the portion of the guide rail straight up to remove it. And after loosening and removing the screws on the left hand portion of the guide rail, that piece will be pulled straight outwards. When replacing the guide rails, you'll need to reverse the procedure and install the left-hand side of the guide rail by pushing it straight back and reinstalling the 1032 zinc-plated screws. Followed by the right-hand side of the guide rail, which will install straight downward and replace the 1032 zinc-plated screws. At this point, install the other rail onto the block. Again, being careful to not damage the sensor behind it. Reinstall the 1/4 28 zinc plated screws to secure the rail in place. Reconnect air and power to the machine. Add the new fittings to the bowl. Turn the power to the machine on and turn the power to the vibratory bowl on.